Okay. Let me put up the right thing. Welcome everybody. Um, this is a follow-up show to Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has returned to Philadelphia, and we have Mr. Philadelphia himself. Mr. Philadelphia himself. Um, Willie Walker. Will, thank you for joining me. For the second time. Your Philadelphia expertise is always welcome. We have Dennis, who is his camera's currently off, but he'll be joining shortly. But I want to put Will on center stage. Again, this is a show. We're going to talk about Ben Simmons, and he returned to Philly just on his own spontaneously. And we're also gonna talk about some way too early predictions for the NBA. So Will, um I wanna um I wanna start off with you, a Terrence here. Um so Ben Simmons has showed up to practice. Um
Yes.
just like nothing ever happened. uh you actually live in Philly. Can you tell me what the sentiment was amongst the fans, what you know from the players? I've read a few things, and then we'll go from there.
Well, so from the fans, you're getting a mixed reaction. I mean, a lot of the fans, it's Philly. You can't say we're too hard on you and you don't want to play here and expect to hear nothing back. So he's getting that. He's getting that in spades. Oh, sit him on the bench and don't let him play a game. All of that stuff. But honestly, you can't really sit him. You can if you want, but it's a waste. It's the same thing as him sitting at home. The only difference is now he gets paid for sitting.
Right.
As far as the players, I haven't heard too much coming out of Philly in terms of what the players are feeling like. I can tell you, I saw an interview here locally with Tobias Harris. And he says, well, is everything going great? It's going, we're professionals. We got to win basketball games. So he's non-committal either way.
Right.
To me, that screams, I'm not really happy with you right now.
Right. I mean, that's human nature. I mean, somebody abandons you and then shows up again, and in a way, well, I can't tell how he showed up because I wasn't there, but it almost feels like from the other side, like he showed up and like nothing ever happened. Sharon, would love your opinion on Ben Simmons showing up.
I'm just like, whatever. I mean, so what, you're back. You can't just show up as if that erases everything you've been saying over the past several months. Not one, not a couple weeks, not 1 month, several months. You've been saying this. I mean, acting like a spoiled child throwing a tantrum, passive aggressiveness behavior and all that. You can't just show up and then expect everything to be all forgiven and everything's going to be normal. So
Right.
I'm big on synergy. I've talked to you about synergy before in groups. And with my background in management, I've been manager at several different places across several different industries. So I've been a leader of people. And when you're a leader of people and you're on a team, synergy is extremely important. A kink in it, it can mess the whole office, the whole team, the whole group, organization. It can mess it all up from the inside. And that's the issue. This is the reason why some teams are like, no, I know this guy is good, but we got to get him out here because he's a cancer in the locker room. That's why, because that whole synergy, the synergy, which is the energy plus whatever, it's almost like something you can see visibly
Right.
in any organization or group.
Will, do you think he messed up the synergy, or do you think that the team will get back to
No,
pre
he definitely
abandoned?
messed up synergy. It's definitely messed up.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. You guys are both ball players, While it stinks to have something like this happen, if you can get on the court and produce on the court, all of this stuff is not going to wash away off the court, but it'll wash away on the court. Because we're balling.
Right.
After we finish balling, we can deal with all this other stuff. I can tell you one thing. The Sixers looked good. They looked good this preseason without him. I hate to say it that way, but it's the truth. I mean,
do y'all see that? What's that say?
If?
Yeah, that's a big if. That's a big if.
If.
Big if.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't believe that they're gonna be able to produce well enough.
See, I think that right now, from what I'm hearing, he's on the second unit. He's not starting right now.
What?
Which I think is really interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's with the second unit right now. I don't think that's gonna last.
Right.
I think he has to play in order for them to get enough value out of him to trade him, if that's what they're gonna do.
Okay.
Well,
he has to. He has to play.
Hear my question.
Okay.
Do you honestly feel that he's going to give his all in all, though? Is he going to give his 100%?
So I think he has a choice. Honestly, he cannot give his 100% and destroy his value more, which will make the Sixers hold him longer. Or he can play half decent, which is probably what he does most nights. I mean, I've watched Ben Simmons a long time. He doesn't give his all any night anyway. So him doing that now doesn't really change it.
Here's my counter to that. If he doesn't give his all, do you honestly believe that personnel at other teams won't see through that and actually figure out that he's purposely not giving his all, a la James Harden? I mean, come on now. I mean, let's just back up and think about this realistically. If he doesn't give his all, would it really hurt his trade stock? Because I believe that other teams and organizations and personnel would be able to tell, oh, I see what he's doing. Everybody figured out. Everybody knew what James Harden was doing when he decided to act ill on Houston. Everybody figured it out. I mean, it's not hard to do. I mean, you don't all of a sudden don't know how to shoot and don't know how to guard and don't know how to do whatever he was doing. Because, I don't watch James Harden because I can't stand him. But can't stand him. Oh
my gosh.
But I just wish he would retire. I don't even want to look at him anymore. But anyway, do you understand what I'm saying, though, Will? I don't think that's. If I'm looking at all these pieces realistically, if he does that, that would not be unheard of. If he does that, he won't lose money because I believe teams would still know what he's doing. And third, he's still able to give them the finger because he's not giving his all. But what's that going to do with the rest of the teammates? Especially the other guys on the bench who are role players, going to be looking at him like, oh, see, they're just putting up with this bull crap from him because he's the star. But let me try to do that. They wouldn't put up with that from me. You see what I mean? That there goes the synergy. Gone.
So here's what I think. I think that the players behind him are hungry right now.
And pissed off.
Exactly. And if you
my thing.
Follow them locally, I mean, they're talking about the way that these kids are working. I mean, you should see what's being said out here about Isaiah Joe. You should see what's going on about Tyrese Maxey, just the way that these kids work this offseason. These kids want his spot. I don't think it matters in terms of them, what he does. Not them. Now, guys like Danny Green and, primarily Danny Green, because he's really the person that has nothing to lose by slacking off. He's really the one Sixer on the roster right now that has nothing to lose by slacking off. He's a veteran. He's established himself. He's fine. Seth Curry, on the other hand, showed something last year that he hadn't shown before. He has to continue showing that. You see, so he can't slack off like a Danny Green could. Tobias Harris looks like he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, I saw this guy the other day. He looks amazing. So does Joel. These guys came in ready to play. And quite honestly, I think the reason that Ben's not on the first unit is because he's not ready to play with them. I think he'll stay off that unit until he is, if he ever is. Like you said, it's a big if.
Will, I got a question. Do you think he's there till the end of the season, or do they trade him at the trade deadline? I mean, do they trade him before, what is it, All-Star break?
So I think a couple of things are happening. I definitely think they're still trying to wait out and see if Dame Lillard is gonna shake free. I think that's something that they've been pretty consistent about for the entire off season. I also think that, and I told you I was a big proponent of the Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon and a pick for Ben Simmons. I thought that was an amazing trade. Problem is Brogdon's out for at least the next couple of weeks, if not the next couple of months. And I think that that's really kind of what killed that trade. I'm not buying Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray. I love DeJounte Murray. Feel like, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. I feel like, Lonnie Walker is a good player, but he's more of a throw-in than really the centerpiece of the trade. And I don't think that's enough value for the Sixers. With right. LeVert and Brogdon, you get two bona fide starters who may not be all-stars, but they're that tier right there. You know what I mean? So I think that's really the main reason you haven't seen a trade happen. That was easily the best trade offer they received. I can't think of anything better than that. So I think that's what Morey's waiting for. He wants to see, one, if LeVert will come back and be LeVert, and two, if Damian Lillard is going to shake free. If those two things don't happen, guess what? You'll see Ben Simmons in 2023.
You really think Damian Lillard is going to come to the Sixers? Like, I don't even know where this thing started, but do you actually believe that? Did that come from his mouth? Did he infer this? Like,
no.
Okay.
No, but it's something that's been like, he's one of the guys that the Sixers have been trying to get. I mean, that's who they want. They want Dame Lillard. They want him in Philly. The CJ McCollum package was so ridiculous that they could not have wanted CJ McCollum. I mean, they wanted three first rounders and 3 pick swaps with CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons. That's not even a legitimate trade. If I'm Portland, I laugh in their face with that trade. They're waiting for Dame. If they don't get him, then they might settle for something else, but that's what they're waiting for.
Now, we were talking before we went live about what Ben Simmons has to do in order to make the Sixers successful, and you said shoot. Is he capable of doing that?
Yeah. He doesn't even. The killer is he doesn't even have to make shots. He just has to shoot them. He could shoot. If he shoots them, it changes the dynamic, because any player that plays basketball on a regular basis is not accustomed to just standing off somebody and letting them shoot. At some point, if they continue to shoot it, they're going to come and challenge you.
What do you think, Sharon?
Okay, sorry about that. Your question is, what do I think about which one? Which thing?
What do you think? What do you think Ben Simmons has to do to contribute to the Sixers' success?
What he needs to do today?
I believe that he's gonna have to perform, but I don't believe he's gonna do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe that he's gonna do it. I believe that he's gonna give just enough, but I don't believe he's gonna give his all.
But Will
And
said
that's gonna be a problem.
Will said all Ben Simmons needs to do is shoot, even though he's not a
He
great
ain't
shooter.
been shooting when he was happy. Will, is he gonna shoot
It's
now
true.
that he's not?
Well, he's got two choices.
Now?
He can go if he shoots, he can pick his destination. That's really the long and short of it. If he shoots,
Okay,
he can
wait a
pick
minute.
any trade destination he
Last
wants.
show, didn't we discuss the fact that he has not accepted help to shoot better? Remember we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
What has changed now that you think because he wants, because he can write his ticket or whatever if he shoots, that you think that he's going to actually believe that instead of thinking, hey, I can write my ticket anywhere I go regardless. I'm Ben effing Simmons. I don't need to shoot. I've proven that. They still want me. What
So I
makes
think
you
he
think
played
he's
himself.
not going to feel that way anymore?
He played himself. He did, because had he stuck to his guns, had he really been this Ben Simmons with no chinks in his armor, he wouldn't have showed up at all.
I don't think that he believes that, though. You see that. Trisha sees it. Dennis sees it. I see it. The whole media sees. Everybody can see that, but Ben, he's a narcissist. He don't see that.
I think he does. I think he played himself. I think he thought that he could do it.
He played himself. He doesn't think he did.
Oh, he definitely does.
Let me tell you, he's sitting at home in his chalet. He's sitting at home laughing, saying, "Oh, they think they got me. I'll show them." He's still thinking that he got the upper hand.
So you think he's going through the motions. What do you think, Dennis? Do you think?
I think he's going through the motions. Yes.
Do you think he's going through the motions, or do you think he's gonna put forth something that's gonna make this team successful? And if you do, what is it?
I think he's gonna put forth a good effort.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
I really do. I think he's going to actually show something different. I don't think he's just going to go through the motions.
I do.
Oh, so you went from last week you don't want him in the arena to this week he's down and 100% with the squad.
I ain't 100%. Let me get that out the way, but I'm just I think he's going to put forth an effort because I think he's going to try to get traded somewhere else. Like I see the Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving trade coming.
Oh,
I'm hoping that one doesn't come down the pipe. That's the one.
Because Kyrie ain't vaccinated, so you don't have to be vaccinated in Philadelphia. The games that he got to be vaccinated for, it ain't but about 10 of them, so he gonna miss about 15 games anyway. So I don't see a problem with it. We just got to be the number one team in the NBA. That's the only thing. Because we can't have no game 7 in LA. That's what we can't, or California at all.
So do you think Kyrie Irving makes you the best team in the NBA?
Yeah. No doubt.
Will, your opinion, do you think Kyrie Irving makes this Sixers squad the best team in the NBA?
I don't. Well, you know what? I'll tell you this much. I think Kyrie Irving makes them a contender. I think they're a bona fide contender with Kyrie Irving. I don't know how the team tracks with Kyrie. I don't think you have enough passing with Kyrie at the point. I think you need more passing out of the point guard position.
I mean, a Kyrie Joel Embiid combination to me does seem kind of lethal. I feel like he's willing to pass if it'll make him look good.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Here's what I'll say to that. I don't see Kyrie as a pick and roll point guard. I don't see Kyrie as a pick and roll point guard. I think that takes away a huge dynamic of Embiid's game. I think it takes away Embiid's ability to work in space. And I think that hampers him a little bit.
Okay. Dennis,
I I see what you're saying, but I don't see that. I actually see a perfect combination with him and Embiid. Um, now we have a legit closer. Something we ain't had since Jimmy Butler was here.
They can shoot.
Wait, hold
Not
on.
afraid
Well,
to.
I
I
don't know.
forgot we
I don't
can't
know
say
if I
his
would
name.
call
Never mind.
Jimmy
Hold
a
on.
legit
Number
closer.
number 20. Something we ain't had since number 23 was here.
Hold
But yeah, we'll have a legit. I don't see Kyrie actually being a problem because all of the problems that he had to be solved because he'll be in Philadelphia. He just can't play in New York and none of the New York games. And he ain't got to travel far to come to work. So
That's
that
true.
matter what
I
travels, right?
think New York says no. Like, what do they gain by adding Ben Simmons? They don't
Oh,
gain.
that's a perfect piece for the Nets. Simmons
Yeah,
again is a
because they
perfect
got
piece for the Nets.
defense.
There's no need for him to shoot there. He doesn't have to shoot there.
He
He
don't
can
have,
literally go there and distribute. That's another one of those places, just like Golden State. That's a perfect place for Ben Simmons. He can be hidden on offense and he can shine on defense. I mean, Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant anchoring your defense is pretty darn solid.
Wait a minute, hold on. Don't nobody mention Kevin Durant and defense in the same sentence. What in the hell?
I'm about to say, please don't mention
No,
her.
no.
in front of Trisha.
I'm
Don't
not
mention
talking
him.
about on the perimeter. I'm not talking about as a perimeter defender. I think Kevin Durant is actually a really solid post defender.
But don't nobody post up, so.
But I think he's solid in the paint. You know,
players to post up, so you might be right.
Occasionally somebody posts up sometimes.
Who posts up? Does anybody?
Somebody does sometimes. I won't say nobody ever does, but
maybe by mistake.
I mean, I'm not
by accident.
By accident.
I'm not going to put Kevin Durant on anybody on the perimeter, but the fact of the matter is he's actually always had a pretty good defensive rating. He's always been a solid defender. He's actually been a plus defender most of the years he's played. Now does he get lazy? Definitely. But I think taking a guy like Ben Simmons and putting him on the perimeter takes the pressure off of those guys to play the primary ball handler or primary scorer on other team.
And let James Harden just be an offensive weapon that he is.
Be a monster. Exactly.
And then you got Joe Harris over there that's a sniper.
Just a shooter. You got Big Joe. Well, Big Joe ain't playing with him no more. But who's their center now?
No, they got Claxton at the center.
Who are they playing? They playing Claxton at the center right now?
Yeah, because Claxton can also guard. Claxton is their best defender.
But see, now you don't need him.
Now, if something happens where they have to play LaMarcus Aldridge, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin, I don't know what's going to happen.
The thing about Aldridge and Blake is they've actually expanded their games to the point where they can step outside and be competent. So and those kind of players complement Ben as well.
And the words of Steven Jackson, Blake Griffin ain't hitting the house from inside the kitchen. All right, let's be for real.
But LaMarcus Aldridge, I mean,
he ain't got enough.
He's a mid-range killer though. LaMarcus been a mid-range killer. He's gonna kill you from 15.
Yeah, he's a great rebounder. Great rebounder.
Wait, are we saying LaMarcus Aldridge isn't a real shooter? Is that what you're saying?
I said I actually easy for all of my children.
Dennis.
Nah, I just said that he don't have no heart.
So that makes him even a more perfect match with Ben Simmons. Don't neither one of them got no heart.
Listen.
That's why I said them three on the court ain't gonna work out.
Do you need two people with no heart though?
Brooklyn Nets, not the Wizard of Oz. We can't.
No, I'm serious.
This is not the Wizard of Oz. We cannot pile up people without heart. Brooklyn actually. I wouldn't say Brooklyn wouldn't welcome Ben Simmons, but I don't know if he would be good here. Then again, I'm not really sure how the Brooklyn would welcome Kyrie if he eventually came back either. So it's like swapping two kind of prodigal sons at best. Two players that just don't want to be where they at, and let's just mix it up, and see if they're happier in opposite places. Like, what is it like? What did what was that show? Wife Swap or what?
Yeah,
Something like
wife
that.
swap. Yeah.
Wife swap.
Wife
You just
swap.
swap two unhappy players and see if they become
Did they
ecstatic.
become happy?
I just don't know if I don't know about Kyrie's synergy with shooters wrapped around him. I mean, the Sixers are built to have shooters, 3-and-D players all around the perimeter.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's Kyrie's game, the pick and roll and the kick out. I don't know if that's his game.
Right.
Um,
I
you
mean,
look at all
listen,
the teams he played for, and that was never really a huge component. They were about breaking down from the perimeter.
I think he's willing to make the adjustment, like, just to prove everyone wrong. At the end of the day, like, he'll come here. Well, I say here, like I'm a Philly fan. 2 Philly shows, like I'm a Philly fan. He'll come to Philadelphia
Oh, you must have heard me say that.
with a chip on it. This is my second Philly show. I done one OKC episode.
Don't worry about it, Pop. We got tickets and a jersey for you.
Right. But Kyrie's gonna come with a chip on his shoulder. He's gonna be like, "Listen, they disrespected my choice to not take this vaccine. They cut me out of the team, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to fit into this team to just prove everyone wrong." So you're gonna have that kind of energy to benefit the squad. So let's see what happens. I predict another episode about Ben Simmons. I might as well turn this into a Philadelphia podcast because I'm doing way too much for that organization.
Nah.
I want to skip ahead briefly with the few minutes we have left to do some way too early predictions about the NBA finals. And this is not just like a random topic. I felt like, Will, you've been telling me that the Sixers do have what it takes to be in the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Do you still feel that way? Like, what would be your top 3 teams in the East this year? Well, I said 4. Give me your top 4 teams when the regular season is done and we're looking at the playoffs. Who are going to be the 1, 2, 3, and 4?
So, I mean, you have to go Brooklyn. Brooklyn is definitely going to be 1 or 2, whether they have Kyrie or not. They're just that talented. I really like the Hawks. I've liked them for years, and I don't see them regressing. I see them improving this year. So I'm actually going to go with the Hawks at number 2. I'm going to go with the Sixers at number 3. And then I'm going to go with the Bucks at number 4, even though I don't like the Bucks this year. I feel like they'll probably be a 6 seed.
Sharon, what are your top 4 teams for the East?
My top 4 are the net. These are not in order.
Okay.
The Nets, the Heat, the Bucks, and the Hawks. I don't have the 76ers in my top 4.
But the Heat is. Dennis, your top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Except I took the Hawks out of Sharon's, and I put the Sixers in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I just think with all this Ben Simmons stuff, it's going to negatively impact their performance. I really believe that.
Interesting. And any surprise in your team? Like any other team that you think might be a surprise?
It wouldn't surprise me if the Hawks did make the top 4. It wouldn't surprise me if Boston made the top 4.
Interesting. Any surprise ones, Sharon?
The Celtics.
That's it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they made the top 4. It would surprise me if the Hawks didn't make the top 4.
Damn. Now y'all got me even just Googling the Eastern Conference just to see what like who I'd pick. And Will, any surprise ones?
I want to see what these young guys do. And it goes against everything in my Philadelphia soul to say what I'm about to say.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But I think the Knicks have a chance to make the top 4.
Oh, I wasn't seeing that coming.
They have been looking great. I'm gonna be
Haven't
honest
they?
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a replay of their game against the Wizards this weekend. Team effort all the way to the buzzer, to the last buzzer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been mulling around everything that you guys said, and me being who I am, I can only think of the antis. I have no idea why you guys think, or I think it was Sharon. No idea why you'd think the Heat would be in the top 4. No idea.
I have an idea.
Fine.
You got that point guard from Philly over there.
That's him. That's the guy.
Just wait. Just wait till y'all see what I see.
I tell you, Lowry and Butler is kind of scary on defense. That's
gonna be an interesting
and
combination.
Bam.
Right there.
Whew, that's a lot of defense.
Let's see. So, you know what? I mean, I still don't know. I don't know if he's enough to put them in the top 4, but I can see now because I almost forgot about the whole Lowry thing.
Here's my thing. It's not that I'm not looking at Kyle Lowry as being the difference to put them in the top 4. I'm looking at the other teams that took a step back. That's what I'm mainly looking at. Okay. And that I believe that Miami will end up in the top 4, not necessarily because they're so much better than they were last year. It's not that. If they were, or the year before that, if they were just as good as they were last year, I believe that would put them in 4th this season.
Yeah.
And then you gotta watch out for the Bulls. That's a sneaky team. I don't know how that team has the potential of being either great or straight trash. Since
we talking, and you already asked me, let me ask Trisha, since he used to be her coach, how do you feel about Billy Donovan?
Oh,
she never liked him. So. She was never a Billy Donovan fan.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying this right, because I need to know who he's coaching. So okay, here's the thing. Bulls have a young team, right? I think he's perfect for that. They don't have a young team. Who's the veterans on the Bulls?
Yeah, I thought your team was pretty young too.
They all been in the league for about, they all on their second contract. I don't consider that young.
Okay, I understand. I guess I still look at Zach LaVine as a young player.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I still look at Zach as young.
Yeah, young player.
Williams.
You got
Lonzo's 13. This is Lonzo's 13.
Yeah.
Is that Valanciunas or is it Vucevic? I always get them two mixed up.
Vucevic over there now in Chicago.
It's Vucevic.
Vucevic been around for a while. I think he might be the oldest player on. No. DeMar DeRozan is the oldest player on the team.
Yeah. So okay.
I don't see that as a young team.
Yeah, I mean, young is DeRozan is like the one like senior member on that squad. I think that that's a perfect fit for him. I don't see any player on that team that's really headstrong, and that's where I think he like lacked with OKC. He wasn't really able to like wrangle a Russell, and he wasn't like he wasn't I don't want to say strong enough, but he wasn't the kind of coach that kept Kevin Durant. Kevin, he was in the whole between that year or two where Kevin Durant was there barely and then they left and then he left. If Billy Donovan was a draw for like a strong player, like strong players or superstars, then Kevin Durant would have stayed, for that coach because um he needs someone that believes in him, but he needs to also believe in them, like all stars. So judging from that roster, perfect. Like he can grow with them. They'll, I, I'm disrespectful because I just still see him as a college coach, right? That's where I'm coming from, right? The disrespect in me is saying like his strength is college. I can't break out of that shell of thinking that he's just a college coach. And so the roster he has on the Bulls are malleable. I won't say weak, but they're malleable,
Okay.
flexible enough to buy into his system. You got Caruso, who's a team player. DeRozan just wants people to, wants a team to believe in and somebody to believe in him. And college coaches are about that, a little bit of psychology to get the most out of their players. So that's a good fit. And everybody else can, fall in line. So good team for him to grow with. Why? Did you have
This is
problems with him?
it's a lot of young people on this team.
Yeah.
They got more young players. They
Yeah.
do, Dennis.
So I just want to wrap up with my picks. You guys made some good choices. I believe the Hawks might be a top 4 team. Definitely the Nets. They might be the top team. And then like the other two are to me a throw up. I okay, the Bucks, because I can't disrespect the NBA champions of last year, but like I also think that that was
Fluky.
Yeah, I
kind of
can't.
Dallas Mavericks of 2011ish, you didn't expect it and then it happened, so I'll give them the respect of putting them in the top 4, but I don't know who my fourth is. I'm trying to pick, trying not to be disrespectful.
You
I'll just
also you also trying to say Miami. We got it.
nah, nah, nah.
Well, see, I don't think it would be disrespectful not to pick Milwaukee being in the top 4. I don't think that's disrespectful.
I mean,
Not at all.
they do have like Chris Milton's still there, right? They didn't get rid of
Yep.
Chris Middleton, Drew. Like they have a good, solid core. And again, there's the psychological aspect of this is like we're champions, right? So you come in a little bit boosted, right? You come in a little bit more like energetic. Like you want to something's on the line. That's your reputation, right? You can't go out like that. You might play a little bit harder. Um, got a couple of people saying things about Ben Simmons. This is a long comment, but I'll see if it'll fit on the screen. Um, just cut out sharing. It's like my comment on Ben Simmons. First, go back to the draft. I remember watching Ben Simmons at LSU. He really didn't impress me for a first round draft pick. I think if it was, let's say, the Michael Jordan era, he would have been 6 man off somebody's bench. On Ben coming back, the Sixers is it's all on him. He can either play the best of his ability and leave it on the floor like Allen Iverson did, and we will forgive him and forever
Right.
love him and respect him. But if he tries something, some shenanigans, right, it's a wrap, right? Thank you so much, Eric, for that comment. And I think Will is in agreement. Dennis and Sharon. I don't know. I have to feel this one out, to be honest. I should have been more prepared about Sly People's next moves. Maybe it does depend on the performance of the Sixers between now and um the All-Star game. I think that if they're doing well, he stays. If they're not, peace out. Go back to the same plan. And if the Nets are still struggling with Kyrie, I guess they will be open. You guys have made a good case on why Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons should swap, and that would that would benefit both squads. But at the end of the day, I think that even with the Kyrie swap, they just don't have enough to be better than the Nets. But they can be a great team to compete against. The Nets just have so many people. Like every minute when I look at their roster, it's like somebody else, and they might be a little bit washed, but not completely washed, right? So that's how I want to add that Blake is still Blake sometimes.
So, I think the Sixers are the only team in the East that can defend the Nets. I don't think there's another team in the East that can defend them.
Okay.
I think it's impossible. I mean, and I'm talking about as they're currently built. I think Ben, Thibault, and Embiid present enough on defense to stifle the Nets. And the way Maxi's defense has been improving over the past year, I think he's another piece that's going to be very, very dangerous in terms of stopping the Nets.
Okay. Well, guess what?
I think they match up well against the Hawks.
Well, guess what?
What?
All right. I guess we got to do this show again next week because the Nets and the Sixers play on the 22nd. They play this week. And Eric thinks that the Sixers can beat the Nets because they lack defense, but I might be the only person that don't think defense wins games. Points do. So let's see if let's see what happens Friday and next Monday with a third Philly episode. Like, this is my squad, but it's not. We'll do a deep dive on how Philadelphia performed against the Sixers and vice versa, and we'll see if Will was right about the performance of that squad. All right.
I'm scared though. You can't do it after the first week of the season. I think you made a great point. I think that the point about how the Sixers are doing is really going to impact Ben Simmons' effort. Because first off, if those young guys come out and show that they're balling without him, he's going to have to get on his high horse and get moving. If they can come out there and show that they're winning games without him, he isn't going to have a choice.
You're right.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
But let's see. We'll see first.
I agree with what you're saying in theory, but what I'm saying is I don't think he understands this. This is what you keep missing what I'm saying. I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. I agree with you. He doesn't have a choice, but he doesn't think so.
I think his pride is hurt. I'm telling you, I think his pride took a hit.
No,
with the
I don't
Sixers
think his
cutting
pride is hurt.
That check.
No, I don't think his pride is hurt. I think he feels like they're the problem and they're stupid.
I agree, but we'll
serious.
See.
I think that's all it is. There's
things
no
can change. Things can change. Like Eric said, if he puts it all out on the floor, everybody is gonna forgive him forever, like it never happened. All right. So
they won't forget.
I don't know. Philly fans, they have long memories.
Nah, if you ball out,
yes, we do. I'm not gonna say it loud.
I mean, if you ball out, yeah, but
if you
they still won't let you forget. Don't have one bad game. Don't have one.
You're right.
But you can still flip after a bad game anyway.
We will see. We will see. We have the game Friday, and I guess this forces the panel to come back next Monday at 7:00.
I'm starting to think Trisha Joy will have some Monday NBA show, ladies and gentlemen. So
7:45 is bang.
Especially y'all tuning in every Monday at 7:45 for the Trisha Joy NBA show.
Yes. It looks like a Trisha Joyce Sixers show, to be honest.
Yeah,
All right.
We're not gonna spend the whole hour talking about the Sixers next month. It's not gonna happen.
With that said, I want to thank the Philly panel and Sharon. Right, we got to talk about the Lakers, girl, because they just got Avery Bradley, and I'm excited. Okay,
Why are you? Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me why you're so excited about Avery Bradley.
Listen, we got
Because
Avery
I'm like
Bradley.
this.
I'm excited.
Really? Okay.
You know. All right, so I
That's
want to
me.
thank Will. I want to thank Dennis and Sharon. Fogmek didn't come, but he was scared, obviously, because I'd probably shut him down. With his
No,
opinions.
don't
But
say
we'll,
that.
we'll
Don't
see.
say that.
No,
Don't
we,
say
So
that.
now
Y'all
Fognak will
need
be
to
back
stop.
next week
we'll,
with
we'll see
fire.
what shenanigans Fogmek comes with next
What's
week.
up, Fog Man? I know you watching.
Yeah, Paul, man, make sure you come on next week, man.
Definitely, man.
With that said, thank you, Will. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Sharon. And we'll see you, I guess, next week to break down the Sixers versus the Nets. Peace.
Mm-mm.